Hey guys, back here with another video, and in this video I want to give my thoughts about the recent rumors and reports going around about Sony making a remake of the first Last of Us game, and I just kind of want to give my personal feelings towards it, so I thought I'd read a bit of this article first from IGN before I go ahead so then you guys can know in case you haven't heard the news. I'm not going to read the full thing, I'm just going to read part of it. So if you want to read the full thing yourself, I'll leave a link to the article in the description down below. But here it says Mumbar apparently assembled a new 30-strong development group, and after passing the idea of a remake of the first Uncharted game, settled on a remake of 2013's The Last of Us. However, the team reportedly ran into trouble after Sony kept their existence a secret and refused to offer extra budget. Head of PlayStation Studios, Herman Holst, apparently deemed the project too expensive, and Mumbar's team was moved to support development of The Last of Us 2. Bloomberg sources say that after The Last of Us 2 was completed, Sony moved multiple Naughty Dog developers onto the T1X project, and the remake effectively became a Naughty Dog project. Mumbar and other original developers have now left the company, but development of the remake is apparently continuing. As part of the same report, Bloomberg also says that Sony Bend pitched a sequel to Days Gone after the game's release in 2019, but was rejected. Sony then apparently moved Bend developers onto two Naughty Dog projects, a multiplayer game, presumably the standalone Last of Us multiplayer game, and a new Uncharted project, which has also been rumored recently. Uh, and then I'm gonna skip this. Um, all right, I'm going to get to this part. There have been many rumors about a new Sony team in San Diego led by Mumbar, with many assuming that it was working on a new Uncharted game after it said it was developing in an existing franchise. However, it seems that referred to The Last of Us, with Uncharted's future seemingly remaining under Naughty Dog's control. The timing for a remake of The Last of Us feels appropriate given the upcoming HBO series, which will reimagine the story of the first game with Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey in lead roles. And that's basically part of the article that I just read. Again, I'll leave a link to the article in the description down below if you want to read the whole thing. So, from my general feelings about these reports and rumors going around about this, I mean, sure, remake of The Last of Us could be cool, I guess, but is it really the time to, I guess, be ready for a remake? Because, like, the game, in all honesty, I don't think is that old. I mean, it's only about, I would say, because the game came out 2013, so it's only been about 8 years since the first game came out, like nearly a decade ago, which I can't believe, but, um, I'm not sure how I feel about a remake because, like, I mean, sure, it may have the same type of graphics or gameplay as like The Last of Us 2, because I'm assuming that's what they would want to do with this remake. So then it's like the same as the second game, since the second game did improve. I mean, despite the controversy with the game did improve with the graphics and the gameplay, which are both really good, regardless if you like the game or not. But I'm just not really sure if a remake is really necessary in all honesty because like the first game I think, for like a game that's like 8 years old and a game that came out on like PS3 which is now on PS4 since we got a remaster of it a year later in 2014. um I think the game for a nearly decade-old game, I think the game still holds up well on its own. I mean, even if there's better graphics nowadays or whatever, I think the gameplay, even though it's improved in the sequel, I think the gameplay is still very good. And I also think the story still holds up very well because I'm a big fan of the story in the first game because the story in the first game is honestly just really amazing and I love the story. It's honestly one of my favorite video game stories of all time and it's just I can't imagine The Last of Us without its story because the storytelling in that game is just amazing and they did a really good job with that. And so I see, I don't know how I feel about this because I have like very mixed feelings about it. Because like one of the thing that may be a bit concerning with me with this remake is I just hope that, I mean, it kind of makes sense why they would release a remake of the first game since we have that HBO, because even though it's not clear as of right now when the first season of the show is going to release, the HBO series with Pedro Pascal, who is, of course, from Mandalorian, and then we have Bella Ramsey, the show doesn't start production until, like, I believe June or sometime this summer. So it kind of makes sense that they would release a remake of the first game if it were to come out at the same time that the show comes out. But one of the things that would concern me with the remake is, you know, because if they do decide to have the remake come out at the same time as the HBO show, the thing I really don't hope they do is I really hope they don't try and redo the face models for like Ellie and Joel and have it try and look like the actors from the TV show rather than, the original face model from the first game because like that's like something even though I'm kind of getting into something that's controversial, that's something that um the Miles Morales game that came out not too long ago, it was like a couple months ago now that the game came out. That's something that that game did, and even the remastered version of the original PS4 Spider-Man game, where they had a different actor replace the face model for Peter Parker, and they did it for like technological reasons from what I can recall because from what I recall the reason they changed his face in that game was so then the newer face model syncs up with like Yuri Lowenthal or like something along those lines. If you guys know the whole thing about that, I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. So I really hope, that with the remake I hope that they don't try and do that. I mean, yeah, sure, I can understand why they would do that, but honestly, I don't really think it's necessary for them to do that. And plus, like I feel like it really wouldn't make sense for them to do that because if they did do that by having the face models look like the TV actors, then that's gonna cause a problem towards The Last of Us 2 because the face models for the characters in the sequel aren't gonna look like the actors from the TV show if they have the remake if they have the characters in the remake look like from the TV shows. Like you get what I mean? Like that I feel like would be a problem if they went with that approach, which is why like I don't think that's like the best way of going. So I really hope that is something that they do not do because I think it's, fine with just the original face model as it is just make it I guess a bit more updated for like PS5 and there's not really anything that big that like really needs to change so I don't really think it's necessary for them to have the characters look like just the actors that play them in the TV show otherwise that's going to create problems because then they're gonna look nothing like how the characters look like in The Last of Us 2. But I think you guys get my point here. And as I've said before, like I mean, yeah, sure, it may be cool to have I mean, I guess it may be cool to have a remake of the first game in like PS5 to have it in terms of graphics and gameplay be like The Last of Us 2, but I'm not really sure if it's really necessary, especially since we actually have a remaster of this game already, and even though I don't, at the time of this recording, I still do not own a PS5 because I can't find one anywhere. I'm sure the remaster of the game, even though the graphics in the sequel are a lot better, I'm sure the graphics of the first game for the remaster look pretty good on PS5 for like a remastered game of a game that came out in 2003. But hey, that may just be me. But I mean, that's I think all I have to say on that because like I don't really think that a remake is necessary. I mean, I don't really know because like as I've said before, like I have some mixed feelings about it. I mean, there could be some good, but at the same time, there can also be some issues as well, which is why like I'm not like super on par with this idea of a remake because we already have the first game, and I think the first game is good on its own. Like, I don't think it's really necessary when it's good on its own in terms of story and even like gameplay. But yeah, I think that's basically all I have to say about this subject because I think I've pretty much covered all my thoughts that I have to say about it. I'm not the biggest fan of these reports and rumors going around, but you know, maybe it'll turn out to be something great because we've had remakes of like other gaming franchises like Resident Evil, for instance, even though I haven't played all the Resident Evil games, like I know like people love the remakes of the original Resident Evil games and those turn out very well and you know maybe we'll get something like that with The Last of Us with the remake of the first game, who knows, but that's all I have to say on the subject. How do you guys feel about a remake of the first Last of Us? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments down below and that's going to be it for the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.